Welcome to Ghostly Whispers, where every story is darker than the last. If you love horror, mysteries, and the unknown, you're in the right place. The Cursed Archive, the place where we uncover the most terrifying and unexplained mysteries in history. If you love horror, true ghost stories, and haunted objects, then you've come to the right place. Some things in this world are better left alone. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved, and some objects should never be owned. Tonight, we explore one of the most cursed artifacts in history, an object that has caused nightmares, illnesses, and even death. A box that carries an ancient evil. A box that has changed hands multiple times, and each owner has suffered the same terrifying fate. This is the true story of the Dybbuk Box, the most haunted object in the world. If you think this is just another ghost story, think again, because its curse still lingers to this day. It all started in 2001. When a man named Kevin Mannis, an antique collector and furniture refinisher, walked into an estate sale in Oregon, USA. The sale was for the belongings of a 90-year-old woman who had recently passed away. Among the vintage furniture and old trinkets, something caught his eye: a small, elegant wooden wine cabinet. It had detailed carvings on the front, brass handles, and an old-fashioned charm to it. The moment he touched it, an uneasy feeling washed over him. But he ignored it. As he was about to pay, the granddaughter of the deceased woman approached him with a serious expression. She looked almost scared. In a low voice, she told him that her grandmother had always warned the family never to open the box. She explained that her grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and the box had been in her possession ever since she had escaped Nazi-occupied Poland. She called it a Dybbuk Box. Kevin, intrigued by the story but skeptical of anything supernatural, brushed off her concerns. He assumed it was just an old family heirloom with sentimental value. He smiled and reassured her that he would take good care of it. But the granddaughter's final words would haunt him forever. She looked him in the eye and whispered, "You don't understand. The spirit inside the box, it will never leave you." The first nightmares began. Kevin brought the Dybbuk Box back to his shop, excited to restore it and sell it for a profit. When he examined it closely, he noticed something strange. Inside the box were a few odd items: a lock of hair tied with a string, a small golden goblet, and 2 wheat pennies from the 1920s. There was also a dried rose and a small black candle holder. These items seemed ritualistic, but Kevin, being a practical man, didn't think much of it. That night, Kevin had a nightmare unlike anything he had ever experienced. In his dream, he saw an old woman with sunken eyes, long black hair, and pale, wrinkled skin standing over him. She whispered something in a language he didn't understand. The air in his dream was thick and heavy, as if something was pressing down on his chest, suffocating him. He woke up gasping for air, drenched in sweat. The room smelled like rotten flowers and ammonia. He dismissed it as stress and exhaustion. But the next night, the nightmare returned. And the next, and the next. Each time, the woman got closer. Each time, the whispering got louder. By the fourth night, he woke up to the feeling of cold, bony fingers touching his arm, but when he turned on the light, there was no one there. Strange things began happening in Kevin's shop. Lights flickered on and off without explanation. Doors slammed shut on their own. Objects would be moved or thrown across the room, even when no one was there. Worst of all, customers began complaining that they felt uneasy around the Dybbuk Box. One woman said she heard whispers coming from it when she got too close. But the most horrifying event happened when Kevin decided to give the box to his mother as a birthday present. The moment she touched the box, she collapsed to the floor, unable to speak. She had suffered a stroke, leaving her partially paralyzed. In the hospital, she struggled to communicate, but with a shaking hand, she wrote one word on a piece of paper: hate. Kevin was horrified. He knew then that the Dybbuk Box was more than just an antique, it was cursed. Terrified, Kevin tried to get rid of it. He sold the box on eBay, hoping someone else would take it off his hands. But each new owner reported the same terrifying experiences. One buyer, a college student, claimed he saw shadow figures in his dorm room. He heard scratching noises at night and suffered from violent nightmares of the same old woman Kevin had seen. Another owner, a museum curator named Jason Haxton, kept the box in his office, only to develop an unexplained illness. His skin broke out in painful rashes. He suffered from chronic nosebleeds, and at night, he felt something watching him from the shadows. Jason, desperate to be rid of the box's evil influence, locked it in a military-grade safe, hoping to contain whatever entity was inside. But the nightmares never stopped. The Dybbuk Box became famous when it was purchased by paranormal investigator Zach Bagans, the host of Ghost Adventures. Today, it is locked away in his haunted museum in Las Vegas, where even seasoned ghost hunters refuse to go near it. Even inside a glass case, visitors report feeling dizzy, crying uncontrollably, or fainting just by being in the same room. Some claim they see a dark figure standing behind the box, watching them. Others have suffered mysterious scratches and bruises after visiting the exhibit. Even Zach Bagans himself refuses to be alone with it. To this day, no one knows exactly what lives inside the Dybbuk Box. Some believe it contains a trapped demon. Others say it holds the soul of a vengeful spirit. Paranormal experts suggest that it may have been used in a ritual gone wrong, or perhaps it was never meant to be opened at all. What we do know is that those who own it never escape its curse. The box continues to spread fear, sickness, and death to anyone who dares to claim it. So I ask you, if you ever find yourself in an antique store, browsing through old trinkets and forgotten treasures, and you see a small, carved wooden box sitting on a dusty shelf, would you dare to open it? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more terrifying tales from the Unspoken files. Until next time, sleep with one eye open.